Dun, 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 dun. The dates quiz. Whoa, so fucking important. Starting from the beginning. Gonna go slow. 1607, founding of Jamestown. Then you have Unit 2. 1688, Glorious Revolution in England. Wow. Unit 3. Then from 1754 to 1763, French and Indian War, 7 Years War. Just put 7 Years War, dude. 1763, the Proclamation and Proclamation Line of 1763, Treaty of Paris. I'm probably just gonna put Treaty of Paris. 1765, the Stamped Act. 1775 to 1783, the American Revolution. 1776, Declaration of Independence. Common Sense, Battle of Trenton. Fuck this class. 1777, Battle of Saratoga. 1783, Treaty of Paris. 1787, Constitutional Convention in writing, ratification of the Constitution. 1800, election of Thomas Jefferson. Unit 4, 1803, Louisiana Purchase in Marbury versus Madison. 1814, Hartford Convention, death of Federalist Party. 1817 to 1825, era of good feeling in Monroe administration. 1820, Missouri Compromise, free states and slave states. 1823, Monroe Doctrine. 1824, election of John Quincy Adams, 6th President of the United States. 1828, election of Andrew Jackson, 7th President of the United States. 1825 to 1828 to 1835, Jacksonian Democracy. 1830 to 1850 was the Trail of Tears. 1848 was Seneca Falls Convention. 1844, Unit 5. Then 1844, James K. Polk elected, Manifest Destiny. James K. Polk was the 11th president. 1846 to 1848, Mexican-American War, and the Treaty of Guadalajara in 1849. 1850 was a compromise of 1850, and Free State and Fugitive State Law passed. 1854, Kansas-Nebraska Act, popular sovereignty in Bleeding, Kansas. 1860, election of Abraham Lincoln, and South Carolina secedes from the Union. 1861 to 1865 was the Civil War. Then you have 1865 to 1877 was Reconstruction. 1876 was the contested election of 1876. 1877 was Compromise of 1877 and end of Reconstruction. Then we go to Unit 6. 1869, completion of Transcontinental Railroad. 1873, you have the Panic of 1873. 1882, Chinese Exclusion Act. 1890, Census of 1890, closing of frontier. 1890 to 1896, the populist movement and agrarian discontent. 1896, Plessy v. Ferguson. 1898, Spanish-American War. Hawaii is annexed, beginning of American imperialism. Then we go to Unit 7, 1896 to 1920, Progressive Era. 1912, Woodrow Wilson elected as the 28th president. 1916 to 1918 is U.S. involvement in World War I. 1919 is Treaty of Versailles, Wilson's 14 points. 1920 is Prohibition and 19th Amendment, voting rights for women. 1929, stock market crash. 1929 to 1941, the Great Depression. 1932, election of Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd president. 1941 to 1945, World War II. 1941, Japanese bomb Pearl Harbor. U.S. enters World War I. Unit 8, 1947, Marshall Plan, beginning of the Cold War. 1950 to 1953, Korean War. 1954, Brown v. Board of Education. 1962, Cuban Missile Crisis, World avoids nuclear war. 1963, March on Washington and Kennedy is assassinated. 1964 to 1974 is the Vietnam War. 1968 is the Tet Offensive, MLK and RFK assassinated. Nixon is elected the 37th President of the United States. 1972 to 1974 is the Watergate scandal. Nixon re-elected in 72. Nixon resigns in 74. Unit 9, Ronald Reagan, 40th President. 1980. 1989, Berlin Wall falls. 1991, Soviet Union collapses. 2000, contested president election, Bush versus George. George W. Bush is the 43rd President of the United States. 2001, it's 9/11. 2008, election of Barack Obama.